something out of For the Beauty of the Earth. This is a new book I just got not too long ago. It's a coloring book to celebrate the wonder of creation. Oh, I love bears and raccoons. Okay. I think, I'm not gonna lie. Here, we'll just kind of flip through. He leads me beside quiet waters. You made the earth and the seas and everything in them. Nature must be respected and preserved. The Creator is calling us back to experience God's loving care in the Creator and the created world around us. Randy Woodley. The mountains and the hills before you shall break forth into singing. Oh, I love this. Between every two pines is a doorway to a new world. John Muir. The earth is what we all have in common. Wendell Berry. My favorite color has always been sunset. Maddie J. D. Stepanek. I actually really like that one too. Not all those who wander are lost. I do kind of think it's probably going to be this one. Oh, actually, I like that too because this is kind of what has applied to my 2022. Nature brings solace in all troubles and brink. I love that. I don't know. Oh, it's good. Oh, I love this. Okay, it's this one. The mountains are calling and I must go. John Muir. So we're definitely going to do that one. Oh, I have some crayons. These are kind of a little bit. We'll use them anyway. If I can get them open. So as we're kind of coloring, we're kind of recap my 2022 so far. And let me tell you, it's been a doozy. Yeah, I really like this one. Okay, so 2022 so far, I guess it started all year, really. Definitely had some mental health struggles in my family. But it all started, I guess. My husband, he had a motorcycle accident in June. And what happened was he went out riding a motorcycle and he was with some friends and ended up, I think, falling, or like the bike slid, I guess, on some gravel. And he was thrown into the ditch. And thankfully he was wearing a his friends his friends were also there, and they were able to go in and they were able to help him. They called, and my husband, he was life flighted to a trauma center, and they contacted me. His friends actually contacted me on his cell phone, it was very scary. Anyway, anyway, my 2022 has really been very challenging. I've really been going through it. It's kind of a hard story to tell, but I think it's kind of therapeutic also. I think I've filmed this a couple times. This is actually my third or fourth take because it is kind of a hard story to tell. Anyway, my husband, he was in a motorcycle accident at the beginning of June. Well, at the time we weren't living together, only because of the fact that he went to go stay with my husband's grandpa to help in the grieving process, I guess. My husband's grandma, who basically raised him, passed away last August, and they've really, really, really had a terrible time. And she basically raised my husband, so he definitely lost his way this year without basically his rock. The one person that he would always call when he was sad, happy, needed advice, wasn't there anymore. So he moved in with his grandpa. Our marriage was fine. He was just going to stay with him for a little bit until he could get his head straight and they could both kind of grieve together and help each other kind of get through that. So nothing really changed on our part. Our marriage was fine. He was over here every day. I was over at his grandpa's every day. Well, anyway, that went on for about a month, and my husband was going to come over on a Saturday or on a Sunday and hang out. We were gonna go on a date and just kind of do our thing. And I said, no, don't come over. I really have a lot of things I need to get done for the week. And so he went ahead and decided to go on a motorcycle ride with some friends. And unfortunately, he had an accident on his motorcycle. Thankfully, his friends were there and they were right with him. He went to go turn and slid on some gravel, and it threw him into a ditch. His friends were there, and thankfully he was wearing a helmet. They called the ambulance came, and they had to life flight him to a trauma center. And while that was going on, his friend actually called me from his cell phone and let me know that he had been in an accident. And so I called my daughter, and she does not live with us. She's 21. She would have been 20 at the time. She just had a birthday. And my youngest son, we got in the car with my husband's grandfather and went down to the trauma center. And we were in the emergency room all night. He saw a trauma surgeon. He had broken many, many bones, vertebrae in his back and his neck. And again, thankfully, he was wearing his helmet, or I don't think that he, number one, would have survived. And if he did survive, he definitely wouldn't be walking. So, long story short, they transferred him to the ICU, and they were going to do back surgery. to do that for a couple days, so I did lay flat in the ICU for, I believe, he had his accident Sunday night, and he had surgery on Wednesday. So he was heavily medicated for the most part, but they weren't able to control his pain very well those couple days. But he did after between Monday, Tuesday, and he had his surgery Wednesday afternoon, or I guess Wednesday morning, because it was like a 10-hour surgery. He was laying, they had to lay him flat, obviously, because one little move he could paralyze himself. So anyway, I spent all that night and the next day, kind of in ICU with him, taking care of him, and I obviously he couldn't really move, so I went ahead and charged his phone anyway, and if for some reason he was able to move, or his grandpa came and wanted to read him messages or something like that, he would have his phone. So I went ahead and charged it, and I was getting ready to leave because I do have visiting hours, and unless he was like in hospice or on his deathbed, they were not going to let me stay overnight again. And he said, no, go ahead and take it, I can't really use it anyway. Well, my mom had called as I was leaving. I had already gotten in the car, and I know it sounds really bad because you're not really supposed to answer the phone, or mess with the phone while you're driving. But I was using my phone, and my phone actually was almost dying, and I had to use my GPS to get home because I was kind of in a downtown metropolitan area, and my phone was about ready to die, and my mom called, and my phone had died, and so I needed to use a phone, not only to call my mom, which I'd kind of been putting off, because we're not really that close, so I've been kind of putting it off. Well, I started going through his phone to press, because she was listed under M for mom. Well, I found my husband had an affair 9 years ago, and we did get through it. It was kind of it was another storm that we weathered. It was awful, especially since my husband, he's my first love. We've been married and together for 22 years, and so my heart instantly sank when I saw this girl's name in his phone, because that was one stipulation when we decided to work through a marriage like 9 years earlier, is he was never to have contact with her again, and he promised me, and that was one thing that that was an absolute must, because I had so many physical symptoms, and my anxiety was awful. Back then, my throat would close up, and I had to be taken. I thought it was allergies. Well, the trauma was so bad. The mental trauma was so bad during that time, 9 years previously, that I would have a rash going all over my body. I couldn't explain, couldn't figure out. My throat would close up. It's just my body's way of, I think, really, I guess my mental anguish and stress was coming out physically. It was so weird. I've never experienced anything like that before. Anyway, so we made it through that storm. We weathered that. I thought we had gotten to be stronger. Well, anyway, I saw this girl's phone number, and I tried to call, and she wouldn't answer. Obviously, I had never spoken to her previously, and so I called her number, and I left her a message, and then I tried to call again, and she wouldn't answer. And I was really courteous, and I just said, I just found your phone in my husband's, your phone number in my husband's phone, and I need to know what's going on, so I don't have to go through that again. we live in the Midwest, and he had to be kind of redneck and keep it in the he just made it really complicated because he had an affair with his brother's ex-baby mama's sister, and she's 10 years younger than me, so that was another blow to my heart and my ego and my self-esteem. So anyway, so he made it really complicated, obviously, family gatherings, which she was an ex of his brother's anyway, but he does have nephews. He has a nephew with her. So I guess what had happened, we'll just use that anyway, even though it's coming out. What had happened, I guess, he had gone down in April to help his mother install some flooring, is what he told me. Oh my gosh, I guess they're all like that. Oh well, we'll just roll with it. That's kind of how my whole year's gone anyway. So anyway, he had told me in April that he was going to go help his mom install some flooring. Well, I guess when he was down at his mom's house, his, I guess, ex-sister-in-law was FaceTiming her sister, and my husband started talking to her. Then I guess he supposedly fell in love with her again, seeing her on the phone, and his sister-in-law really encouraged that relationship, which is so crazy because I have really held down I was there holding everything together while my husband had a mental health crisis in March, early March, and I kind of held our family together while he was inpatient in hospital. I know that's probably TMI, but oh well. Anyway, so, and then we had some other issues going on too, and I was kind of taking care of everything because that's what I do. Anyway, so he fell in love with her supposedly, and they started talking on Facebook, and then started talking via text. So this happened at the end of April, all the way through May. Just, oh my gosh, there was like 100 pages of text messages, pictures. It was awful. Anyway, so I found her phone number, called and left her a message. I got home. I don't even know how I got home because I was so distraught. I got home and instantly started going through his phone, and that's how I found out. I had found out that they had started talking on Facebook because I then called her sister, my husband's ex sister-in-law, basically, and she told me that they did start talking on Facebook. And she said, oh, I might have been very close to my sister, blah, blah, blah. Well, that was a lie because later in text messages I had saw where, she was encouraging the relationship and whatnot between her sister and my husband. So I was just absolutely distraught. I haven't dated anyone else for 22 years. He was basically my first love. And so I've been 100% faithful in our whole relationship because I absolutely love this man, even now. So anyway, what happened was that night, I went through his phone. I did drink some wine, I'm not going to lie, which wasn't really healthy, but, that's what happened. I can't go back and change it, but I did drink some wine and go through his phone and got really distraught. Oh, I was so upset. I was crying. And I guess this is kind of tea. This is kind of a story time tea. Well, the first time I didn't tell anybody 9 years ago that he had an affair. I kind of dealt with it on my own for several months, so he could kind of save face. I didn't want his reputation tarnished. So this time I said, I've been scorned again. I've been absolutely torn apart. The whole year had been awful. And then I had all these traumatic events happen around the same time. So okay, don't do this at home, guys. I went ahead and posted screenshots on his Facebook. I don't even use Facebook all that much. But I put her picture as his profile photo. And I think that was basically it. I did put every single most text messages that he sent. They sent back and forth. I put on my Facebook page, which is, I know it's a messy bitch thing. I shouldn't have done that, but that's what happened. Because I was really going through it. So anyway, I put all that information out there on my Facebook because I was like, the first time I kept it in and I dealt with that heartbreak on my own to help save your reputation. This time, we're going to show everybody what really happened. So I put everything on my Facebook. I did delete it obviously a couple days later, but the very next day, my sisters and my daughter and my son, well, mainly, obviously my sisters and my daughters, she's an adult, they were really my rock and foundation through this whole mess. I could talk to them on FaceTime and all that stuff, and they, obviously gave me support. They don't live in the area. Well, one of them lives in the area, the other one doesn't. She lives out of state. My daughter, that's a wonderful thing about, being able to video call people is they didn't necessarily have to be here to be comforting and whatnot. So anyway, the next morning, I wasn't going to go see my husband in the hospital, but I decided to anyway, which probably wasn't the greatest idea. But on my way in to see him, my car had run out of gas, but I didn't know it had run out of gas because that was one thing my husband always said he was going to do was fix my car, and he never got around to it. So I wasn't able to see how much gas I had in my car, and I had run out of gas. And with everything going on, I didn't remember to put gas in it again. So I ran out of gas, and obviously I had some guardian angels looking out for me. These really wonderful, because I was in the downtown metropolitan area, and these wonderful construction workers were able to get me off on the side of the road because I was on the interstate, and my car obviously was running out of gas. I went off the interstate onto where you get off to go onto the streets and stuff, where you get off the interstate. Well, my car completely died there, and I just had a line of traffic all the way backed up, all the way behind me. I was already traumatized. I was like upset, crying. So I guess the first thing I did is I have like a group chat with my daughter and my two sisters, and I was like, guys, I don't know what to do. I'm stranded. Well, these wonderful guys construction workers came up, and they're like, one of them said, honey, don't cry, we're going to get you taken care of, and they did, and I really appreciated it. And then a police officer came and took me to go get gas. Well, after I got gas, I finally made it to the hospital, and I walked in, and my husband was laying there. He was awake, and I started reading his text messages to him. At that point, he called the nurse to call security to have me thrown out, but I went ahead and left anyway. So that happened. It was really, really rough. We did message back and forth, obviously, because he's my husband, and I do love him. At that time, we were not going to stay together, but we were definitely, I'm just trying to remember everything going, because oh my gosh, it's been really a journey. We were messaging back and forth. Obviously, we were in a limbo. We aren't really in a limbo now because we're definitely so we're like almost 4.5 months out. And a lot's happened since then. Anyway, while my husband was in the hospital, one thing I did agree to was to help him when he got out of the hospital, because he was going to be, his grandpa's like 76, so he wasn't going to be able to help him like get to the bathroom and stuff like that. So I did promise I would help him because he's the father of my children. And so anyway, long story short, after weeks and weeks, he had his back surgery. It was like a 10-hour surgery, and he went to rehab. He was in rehab, and where he had to like walk again. He had to basically learn to walk again and whatnot. So he got out of the hospital, and I would go and I would help take care of him. Well, we did message back and forth, obviously. Okay, this is really funny. It's funny, but it's not. It's kind of sad too. But anyway, they had this like month-long affair, emotional affair, and he was not. He was a coward at that time, and he told her that he couldn't be with her anymore because he was dying of prostate cancer. And obviously it wasn't. That was a lie. So, oh my gosh, I roasted him so bad. Like, I definitely let him know, because I was also taking back and forth to physical therapy. I would roast him so bad about that. And like all his little, like, oh my gosh, I have better game than he does when it comes to, talking to the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever your flavor is, I guess. Anyway, when it comes to like flirting, let's say, his stuff, he was so corny, so I would like just roast him, because obviously, I had to get my legs in very good. So anyway, long story short, I guess, through the months, we've decided that, we're both in therapy, and our children are in therapy, and then eventually, because we both have like baggage from trauma from childhood, and that we are going to work through, obviously, and then we're going to do some marriage counseling. He did move back in because we had several like personal issues, like events come up after that, and so we did decide for him to move back in and really give our marriage another shot and work on it. I will say that going through therapy for myself has really been cleansing, because I feel like I'm able to set better boundaries now and really stand up for myself. And that's another thing that living on my own all summer really helped me be a stronger woman, and be able to, because I had never lived by myself, I guess, really, anyway. I mean, obviously my sons were here, they're teenagers, and they've been a big help too. Oh my gosh, I just love my children so much. They're literally the reason I get up every day. Anyway, so, we had some personal things come up, which I'm not really going to talk about because they were so dramatic. It's just been one thing after another. So he's moved back in. We are working on our marriage. We're communicating a lot better. He's taken responsibility for everything. I think that all of it stemmed from his mental health crisis that he's had this year, and really had stuff going on in his brain that he's finally working through. And believe me, she also has mental issues, but she lives in Washington State. She doesn't even live close to here, which is fine. Her and her fiance, I do feel bad was I did message during those first couple days. I was sending messages to everybody. I guess message requests to all of anybody I could find as to get hold of her fiance and let him know that she was having an emotional affair, because the first time she was able to go on with her life, and while I picked up the pieces to my own. And so I'm not saying it was the right thing to do, but I did reach out and send some text messages, screenshots of text messages that they had sent back and forth. Well, come to find out, a couple weeks ago, which is kind of ironic, her fiance messaged me and let me know that he told me that if they're done talking, which they're not talking anymore, my husband's already, he let me know that, he wants to be with our family and work on our marriage and whatnot. And that it was a mistake and all that stuff. He said that he did let me know, obviously, if for some reason that he would reach out again, that he would put my husband in the hospital and he would have to learn to walk again. So I did screenshot his message and send it to my husband, and I was like, hey, just so you know. And I kind of roasted him on that a little bit, but things have been good. I'm finally starting to feel good again. So hopefully I'll be able to put out more content, because I do miss you guys. There's so much more to this story, and my story's not over. I really want to be the best person I can be, not only for my children, but for myself as well, and be a good example. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go